Multiple is got from the word multiply. Multiple is got from the word multiply. It is from multiply that you get multiples. Take for instance, I am talking about the multiples of 8 now. When I multiply 8 by 1, 8 times 1 will give me 8. When I multiply 8 by 2, I'll get 16. When I multiply 8 by 3, I'll get 24. And equations. Of course, when you talk about simultaneous in terms of an activity, it means performing more than one activity at the same time. For instance, if you are watching a television and making a phone call at the same time, it means you are making call and watching television simultaneously. Therefore, bringing this down to equations, it means you are solving an equation that contains more than one unknown, etc. There are so many of them. So they are just group of footballers. Okay. The name I think you can give to these can be maybe group of politicians or governors of states in Nigeria. I can see my dear Governor Chief Willie Obiano of Anambra State. Okay, now the general name that can be given to the first picture is just group of footballers, like I said, while the second one is just the group or set of politicians. You can as well call them the set of politicians in Nigeria or the set of governors of states in Nigeria. Okay, let's continue. Now, from the pictures, one can say that a set is just a collection of similar objects. When you gather objects that are similar, that are serving the same purpose, that are doing the same thing, that has a link, when something is connecting them, you can say that such sets, such group, are just set. Collection. Okay, therefore, we can now define that a set is a collection of well-defined objects. And join the point. So let me join the point now so you can see how it is done. So I have successfully plotted the auger. You see how it is sloping like elongated X. So this is just the auger for the equation that is asked in mathematics, which is arithmetic progression. In the previous video, we introduced this topic and solved few problems pertaining to it. So now let us take more problems that relates to arithmetic progression. You sell a good at a price higher than the amount of money you bought that good. It means a profit has been made. The other way around, when you sell an article at a price that is below the cost price, you must make a loss because you are getting nothing. You've spent a lot to buy a good, and at the same time you are selling it at a very cheap price, which is lower than the amount of money you bought it. Hence, you are making a loss. We say that probability as a mathematical term is the likelihood, the measure of the likelihood of occurrence of an event or an outcome will give us a probability. Go to your gas cooker or your stove, try to boil water. You observe that when the water begins to boil, that the higher the volume of fire in your stove, the greater the rate at which the water boils. Also, when you try to reduce the volume of fire in the stove, the boiling rate of the water will also reduce. You can now see that there is a great relationship that exists between the rate of boiling of the water and the volume of fire in the stove. Now, this will lead us into a wonderful topic known as variation, which is all about the relationship that is existing between two or more quantities. So the intersection of two or more sets simply means the elements that are common to both sets. Okay? So, and look at how we write it. A intersection B. So this N here represents intersection. Remember, the intersection means the connection. What links the two sets together? What can you see in both sets? That's their intersection. Then finally, we have the complement of a set. complement is got from the word complete. Some elements are incomplete, just like this set BA now. You see that universal set, which is the main set that contains every other set under discussion, has elements 1 till 10. And you can see that this set A and B, they are not complete. Some elements are missing. Those elements that are in the universal set, which when they come into these two sets, this set becomes complete, are the complement of those sets. Adjustment made on this, we alter the size of the angle 30. Then place at the other point, mark an arc. You observe that the two arcs will intersect at a point. This point of intersection is known as the meeting point, which we are going to draw to join at the center of the semicircle, where your compass must have made an opening or a mark. So you join together to the center. So this distance here is our 30 degrees. So it is very, very simple to make angle 30 degrees. When I was tender, look at what I used to remember this quotient rule, because sometimes the formula may seem confusing, sometimes it will not be so easy to remember the formula. Therefore, I always write, when I was tender, that dy dx is the same thing as, it's funny, bottom the top minus top the bottom all over bottom squared.